Again, good evening, because it's the same date, November the 10th. It's our second video tonight. And my son wants the old-fashioned way without that card, so I have to go with his demands. And I'm Violetta, I'm a psychic from Canada. I'm going to answer questions that my son will be asking me, and I will have visions only, not the tarot cards. He thinks that it's more his way. Okay. I'm ready for questions.
So back to the politics. John Sheets asks, how will Jeff Sessions testify regarding the new revelations when he goes back to update his testimony?
It was like the lights were going up and down, up and down. He would be crazy way testifying. Nothing will make a click because the lights are different spot of lights, and he will be lost in his own testimonies. And he will be upset. He will be angry because the movement is so fast, and I don't think he will have any credibility. People will not trust him.
I think you're absolutely right.
Well, I didn't trust. You remember when they were voting for him at the Congress? I didn't like him at the beginning. I thought that they wouldn't choose him, but
I didn't think it would go this wrong. Like, I can't.
No, he's not an honest person at all.
That's a silly question.
You made that one now.
Are they letting this catastrophe happen for a reason? Like,
what do you mean catastrophe?
It seems like there's so much that has gone against this campaign that they're not putting it out of its misery. They're letting it keep going.
They have old-fashioned tools for screwing and screwing. It's like a dentist old-fashioned tool that we have some dentist tools at the store, and it's like they are using, and they are for torture. You can't even look at those tools. And that's what I have seen. It's like, what's going on? And it's occupying your mind, so you are focusing on those things, how people were suffering before when they were pulling a tooth or whatever. And it's the same thing with with them. We are focusing on those little details, and we don't see the whole picture. And it's like a primitive pulling a tooth is a pain. And it's a primitive way of operating, and it's 21st century. But they are going with the things that it's so easy to see.
Is this about setting a new precedent? Not president, but precedent. Like, so a new level of governing. Like, you can't do certain things that people used to do before. Are they...
Do you want to control the...
Well, no. Are they doing this so that in the future there's different rules?
Okay. When they were showing that those hurricanes were coming, so you see like a donut. It's a donut, and around the donut I see square after square after square. So it's a catastrophe, because the hurricanes are catastrophe. But those little squares around it, they're controlling that catastrophe their own way. So this is something that they are trying to control. But it's like a control catastrophe.
So it is controlled.
It's control catastrophe, kind of. You can see this maybe differently. I don't know, but that's what I'm selling you my picture, what I have seen, and then you can translate for yourself the way you want it.
Okay, so next question. Donald Trump and Putin did not pursue a formal meeting as they only exchanged handshakes at the summit in Vietnam.
But they are still there, so they might be seeing tomorrow each other.
No, there's no plans for it.
Mm-hmm. It's odd because when they were before on the previous one meeting, Trump was going to Putin like little teenager girl for a date.
Yeah.
And now they don't want to see each other. That's so odd.
Right?
They were like lovebirds.
They were. What is the story behind them not having a meeting?
Binder. Like this, what I have seen, the binder. There is so many papers on them that they are afraid that they will be controlled by other people. They have piles of papers on them in the binders. So they are afraid now to do anything. It's like two teenagers that want to go for their date and they can't do it because the parents are watching. And on Trump's side, the other politicians are trying to control him and telling him, don't do that because you are already in the deep situation.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Okay, going on with that. PL 1951 asks, will Putin eventually turn on Trump?
It's like a torpedo coming, I think he will put a lid on him. It's a big splash of some force will be hitting. So Putin is not happy with Trump at all. Because he wanted Trump to succeed, so he will have those restrictions be taken away. So eventually I think Putin will be very upset with Trump.
Where will this measure of force take place?
I think it's more, not that there is, it's growing, some city, but buildings. So there might be some information about the buildings that Trump owns, because that's sky buildings.
High rises.
Yeah. So I think that will be somewhere growing those information about those buildings that are related to some not honest money, because before, some of you remember, there was some black money and on top was the good money. And it's the same way that the high-rise the buildings are rising and the profits probably from those buildings will be questionable.
Did Putin bribe Trump somehow with through real estate transactions?
Promising of water of money.
Because there was that deal that didn't go through
About the tower in
Moscow. The
Moscow.
tallest building in the world.
In
Trump
Moscow.
Tower in Moscow, yeah.
But I think it is more coins. It's like a waterfall of coins. So he was promising him some businesses and some, because it was like connection of waterfall of coins.
The Chinese president unveiled a hero's welcome for Trump this week. What are his intentions towards Donald Trump?
Okay, it's umbrella, but umbrella is not this way, it's this way. So he's giving him the fake umbrella, fake security. He doesn't want Trump to be the major power anymore, or major even player in the world. He's giving him fake idea about the security.
That makes
the
sense, yeah.
Umbrella is sideways.
Yeah.
And he's giving him, but he doesn't have respect for him, so he's giving him fake security.
Huh.
Maybe you can translate this differently.
What will be the result of the negotiations between the Chinese president and Donald Trump?
What would be what?
What will be the result of the negotiations between the Chinese president and Donald Trump?
It's like hiding something and hiding. So he will be not able to move from those negotiations. It will be tighter and tighter. I don't know what when you are drying flowers.
Flowers?
Flowers like sage, for example.
Yeah. You bind them up.
Bind them up. He's binding him and binding. So there is no room for negotiation from Trump's side. He will not be able to negotiate what he was promising to people. He was promising that no more connection with China. And actually he's letting himself to be tied up to the maximum.
Oh my God. So, how will Donald Trump look to his base after these negotiations are over?
The base will be taking some tools and cutting him off, because it was like pulling. Those pliers for pulling.
Yeah.
And they were another torture for Trump. They will be upset with him. They will pull him out of office maybe, or they will be pulling for themselves more things to win, but it's not that he will be able to deliver to them.
All right. The GOP tax plan is under scrutiny for favoring the rich at the expense of the poor. What will become of the GOP tax plan?
Okay, merry-go-round. They will be going around and around and around, and I don't know if that will be any good for moving forward. You can't move forward with that, being on merry-go-round, and it was the primitive merry-go-round when you were a kid, you were going to the playground.
Yeah.
We were jumping on that merry-go-round, and no improvement whatsoever, because it was the primitive merry-go-round for the kids in the playground. So they will be moving, but no forward. That will be playing the poor, telling them, we are giving you something, and they are not giving them anything. Because in one way they will, whatever they will gain, that they will be taken away, because there will be less school, less medical things, and so on. So the merry-go-round will be a symbol of that kind of no achievement.
Will there be some good that comes out of Trump's presidency?
Something will rise. It's like a butterflies rising. So there will be some probably movement or something. Something will come out good, but on another side of the prosperity. I had the feeling that it's another party will gain more because of that. What he is doing, the other party will gain more freedom of being nice and free and more environmentalistic, because the butterflies will be a symbol to me that the good environment.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone will be so against him that they will be going for completely different party.
There is a quote: "When you strike a king, you must kill him." Robert Mueller filed the first charges against Trump over a week ago.
Not against him, it's just against
against his campaign. Sorry, against his campaign. Yeah. That's what I meant. Did Mueller do this already knowing he has enough evidence to take Trump down?
He's aiming very high. He's aiming with the gun very high to the top. And I don't know if he will be already, Flynn is already very high in the ranking, so he's aiming at Flynn and his son, but I think he's going after Kushner and Trump after that, and Judge Session. Because it was like to the sky aiming.
We haven't heard much from Trump's progeny, from his kids. What
do you mean progeny?
Progeny? His kids.
Okay.
What is going on behind the scenes with them?
The old way, when you were making wool on those treadmill, not the treadmill for walking now, but that old treadmill, you had that spinning wheel. And they are spinning crazy, those kids with him. They don't have any ability to... The machine is working and they have to do it, whatever daddy is telling them to do.
How does that relate between Ivanka and Kushner's marriage? Trump was,
against Kushner now, yeah. Oh, big hole between them. Big hole. It's like several floor low, looking from the several floor up, down in the staircase. You see a lot of stairs down. So it's probably big hole between those two kids. It's not good. It will affect the marriage so badly eventually.
Well, you've already...
I said that they will be probably separating, going different directions. That was the vision that I had in video number 5. It was about separation. And they are trying to walk around those stairs, but it's hard to please Trump.
Very good. Well, that's it.
Okay. Thank you for watching us, and please subscribe, and so you don't miss any other videos, and tell us how you feel about this, if it's better than the one moment before. Because he doesn't want me to do the cards, and I like to do, because I'm doing cards when I'm doing readings for people. So
yeah, it's up to you guys. Okay. You make the decision. Let us know. If you would like to request a private Skype reading with Violetta, please email her at psychicvioletta@hotmail.com and discover what the future holds for you.